Hi. So we all hear this phrase, thinking outside the box. If you're ever in meetings or, different groups where they're trying to solve problems, they say we need to really think outside the box on this one. And I have heard or read that INFJs think outside the box, whatever that means. So then, of course, I have to think about it, forever. And I've been thinking about this for a few days because it was a comment that somebody said, INFJs really think outside the box. And the immediate thought that came into my head is, what is this box? So I thought, yes, what is this box that everyone's referring to? Is it the, mainstream accepted way of thinking? Is it the general consensus of the population that everyone decides is acceptable or is the way to do things, and that's that's what the box is? I don't know. Is it the people just following what is normally done, I guess? So thinking about this box, first of all, I noticed that times that I was in meetings or in problem solving sessions where they would say we need to think outside the box, and then I would, come up with some kind of, I guess, off the wall maybe or outside the box idea. It was never really viewed as a good idea always, or they would always have to say, you know, you need to think about that a little bit more. And I think that's where we get misunderstood a little bit, is that, we do really have ideas that are sometimes kind of out there, out of the norm, and I think are thought out a little more than the regular ideas or something. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling on this. I was like, well, I don't know exactly what I'm going to speak about this, but I'm going to just start talking and see what comes out of my mouth. But so I noticed that, these thinking outside the box isn't, even though that's what people say they want, that isn't really what they want. And this box, for me, for example, like when I talked about my chickens, the box for that would be get chickens, get them a coop, fence them in, feed them chicken feed, done. There's the box, but I have to take the box apart, look at what it's made out of, put it back together, try to make it a different shape, try to make it work a different way, or at least just try to figure out why it is the way it is so that I can understand it better, and so that I can make plans for if said box falls apart, how are we going to fix it? How are we going to put it back together, make it work better the next time so that it doesn't fall apart? And I think a lot of my, researching obsessions end up being that way. That I get into this deconstruction and then reconstruction in a different way to try to improve things or try to figure out how something works so that if it falls apart later, I can put it back together. There's always this kind of future focused thought pattern of, always 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 years ahead of time in my planning, I guess, and in my thinking over what's happening and what I've noticed and what I've picked up. I'm always thinking about the next time or the next week or something like that. And always trying to plan for what may happen. And then I end up with a little bit of anxiety because I can't just sit in the moment of this is just fine right now. I can't just sit in, this is what's happening right now and this is okay. I always have to have this plan of what, if this happens, then what are we going to do? If that happens, then what are we going to do? Um, and, specific things. I don't necessarily write lists down, but it's almost like a ticking off list in my head of possible situations that could happen, and then what we're going to do about it, or what I'm going to do about it, and how to plan better for it. So this box that we think outside of, I still am like trying to envision what this box looks like and how to find it, because I don't know that I've ever really, that's an interesting concept, thinking outside the box or thinking in the box. But yeah, it's always a kind of like future focused planning for me when I'm thinking about things. If this happens, then we're going to do this. If that happens, then we're going to do this. And then, of course, like I said, the following anxiety with what if it really does happen like that? Then what are we going to do? And I always have wanted like a written out script of what my life would look like so that I can plan and react accordingly, because I never really, of course I don't want to upset anybody with my choices. So, yeah, I'm rambling. I don't know if there was any point in this, but there's my thoughts on thinking outside of the box or thinking inside the box. And I hope you have a great day. Live and love out of the way you were created.